I'm Eric Paul Johnson,
And I'm Eric Winsenson.
and I guess
Shut that off.
I'm having trouble with my filters here. I'm not a cat. I don't know if you saw that lawyer who accidentally left his filters on. There we go.
There was some lawyer who did that.
You didn't see that? It was all over the news yesterday. There was a lawyer in a Zoom conference, and they got the lawyer up here, you got the judge over here, and then the lawyer over here, and the lawyer on the bottom, who sounded like an old guy who didn't really understand technology. He was a cat, like the full cat head, with the eyes kind of darting around with his eyes and the mouth moving with his mouth. And the
The
judge
judge,
was
I'm sure, was not exactly happy.
the judge told him, I think you got a filter on. You're going to have to remove that. And the lawyer said, yeah, my assistant, we're trying to figure that out. I'm not a cat. I'm actually here. That's what he said. So I don't know how you missed that. It was everywhere yesterday.
I'll have to look it up because there were other things that were everywhere yesterday that distracted me.
Yeah, yeah. And it was such a bumbling move that I thought it was a Trump lawyer who accidentally had the cat filter set on. Since repeatedly they can't figure out how to spell united and keep spelling it unitus.
Well, if it's the United States, that means he can't be a traitor because he didn't rebel against the United States.
Why aren't you
There
on
was no
Trump's
insurrection against the United States. It was against the United States.
Why aren't you on Trump's legal team?
Well, I think I just proved that I'm too smart for them.
No, that's true. Anyway,
That, and I'm not a lawyer, but I really question if any of them are too.
does it matter?
Well, according to the Bar Association,
The
yes.
Bar Association, yes, but
But I don't think
otherwise,
most of these people are going to be members after all this either. So,
yeah, yeah.
so they might be about the same level as I am, just with a little bit more schooling on the law instead of medieval history and and English
Yeah, yeah,
literature. So.
yeah. So before we drift into that, we
Or
got
just drift.
or just drift, yeah. We got a lot of comments about ELO Part 2.
Oh
And
yeah, I hope that we didn't just get all 60 comments there, that whole conversation. I kind of skipped back and forth through that about
yeah, there was a lot.
somebody got brutal. Somebody got mad.
Yeah, there was a lot more than 60 comments. And we will not be reading all of them because I have other things to do with my life. Because that's going
Yeah.
to take a long, long, long time. But when Facebook thinks I have been properly rehabilitated and can be released into Facebooktopia without causing problems and being a good citizen, I will post that whole thread on our Face the Music Song by Song podcast Facebook page because I have to, because that's where everybody is. Otherwise, I would tell Facebook to go away. But for now, it's on Corey's Facebook page, Jeff Lynne's Blue World. Look for the album cover for the first ELO Part 2 album and settle in. Because I didn't even read
So
all of
far
them.
has not got us banned by putting that album cover up there.
Well, it doesn't show any nipple.
True.
It's got some side boob, but no nipple. So,
Got some butt and some side boob.
but I think is allowed. Full,
Really?
yes,
Okay.
full.
I'm quite sure mine is not.
Um, no. Well, let's find out about mine.
But the thing is, I haven't figured out how to use the panorama setting on my camera. I'm on my phone, so don't worry. There's no chance. There's no chance of that showing up anytime soon.
Well, set the timer for 10 seconds. Run real fast until you can get far enough away where the camera can get the whole wide view.
Yeah, I'm trying to get an aerial shot.
um. So yeah, it was so long that at some point I was just I don't have time to read all this. So, but I picked out a few that we can read here, and we'll do that right now.
Okay. So Frank Mommerts says, I loved it that time it came out. Some good tracks. Yeah, some good tracks, but
Well, it's good that people are speaking up that they loved it, because us and a lot of people were like, "Hey, I haven't listened to it in 30 years, and that's why." So
yeah, because I'm glad he got it because he must have been one of those two people that bought it because I was reading about how the one guy worked in the record store and they had 500 copies and they had to return 498 of them.
yeah, that's why I only saw the cassette copy at Zia. I didn't see copies anywhere else. But yeah, yeah, I can understand why. Jack Brown, nice analysis of the album and songs. Oh, thank you very much. I liked both and actually have played them regularly. Well, good. I never recognized the similarities of some songs to Asia, Foreigner, and Sammy Hagar, but you guys nailed it. Thank you very much. Actually met them backstage a few times. Always great about autographs and pictures. That's really pretty cool. I've heard great stuff about seeing them live, that they put on a good show, and afterwards, you got to go meet them. And I wish I went to one of their concerts. I know they came to Phoenix in like 95 or 96, but back then, and it was advertised as Electric Light Orchestra. And I did yell back at my radio, that is not Electric Light Orchestra. Um, and that's where the lawsuits came from, because promoters were promoting it as Electric Light Orchestra and using Jeff's face when they were not Electric Light Orchestra. Jeff was not there. No. But yeah, at the time I was like, that's not Electric Light Orchestra. That's not Jeff Lynne. Please, I will not waste my time or money. But hearing about the concerts 20 something years later, and that you got to meet him and all that stuff, I wish I would have gone, because I've heard they put on a good show. And even if Jeff Lynne wasn't there, I still would have got to meet Bev Bevan and Kelly Crockett and some of the other members of ELO that were in Mick Kaminsky. I bring along one of my albums. I could get some autographs from them on some of the albums. That would have been just as good, even if Jeff wasn't there. It'd be nice to have some Bevan and especially Crockett autographs on my ELO albums. But
You probably would have got a complimentary prime rib dinner as long as you stayed to listen to the timeshare pitch.
well, you know, free food and autographs from members of ELO. There's no downside to that, other than maybe the timeshare pitch.
The timeshare pitch, yes.
Yeah.
Luba Bingus says, my first episode, grooviness.
Well, good. I'm glad you like it. I think I saw that you subscribed to the YouTube channel, the Electric Light Orchestra podcast YouTube channel, where all the episodes are, and the Zoomcast. That's where they're all posted, because Facebook's a pain in the ass. So thank you. I'm glad. It's kind of funny that after all this time, this is the first you hear of the show, but I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you signed up, and I'm glad you're listening. So keep doing that. By the way, did you know we have a Patreon page? What is
I'm
it?
starting to like our Patreon page.
Um, four
It
dollars.
bought me breakfast.
Yes, $4 a month, and you get episodes a week before they air. I think it's $8 a month, and you get expanded episodes where Dono gives his view on songs. When there's a cover song, me and Eric will talk about the remakes, or selected remakes, depending on how many remakes there are. Sometimes there's some added stuff. For ELO Megamix, I included a segment from my first podcast series, the Eric Paul Johnson Radio Trolla program. Um, there's a segment about a song that I did that was inspired by the early 80s synth ELO. There's the parody that I did of Letter from Spain called Letter to Dave, which was about David Letterman's viewer mail segment. So sometimes you get some goodies there that you're not going to hear in the regular episode. So that's $8 a month. So come on, join up. I got college debt to pay off and Legos to buy. So let's get more people on that Patreon page. Dave Patterson. During the years that ELO, or Jeff, were not touring, These guys kept the music alive. I saw them 4 different times, and not only were they musically phenomenal, yes, but they actually visited with fans, autographed everything we brought them, and seemed as excited to see us as we were to see them. I'm sure at that point in the 90s, yeah,
They were.
yeah. Ever see Jeff do this? I realized that he couldn't spend time with every fan, but Kelly, Mick, and Bev, and the others did. For that, they deserve more than the derision they often get. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Um, People usually do heap a lot of unpleasantness on Electric Light Orchestra Part 2 and Bevan and all that, but from what I'm hearing, they did put on a good show, and it was really great that you got to mingle with the band. I see a couple reasons why Jeff wouldn't do this. ELO Part 2 was playing clubs and small, theaters. And at that kind of a thing, sure, I don't think crowd control is going to be much of an issue. When I saw Colin Hay, the lead singer of Men at Work, he was in a 200-seat theater in Flagstaff, and afterwards he did have the meet and greet. And I got an autograph and a picture with him. He seemed kind of cranky that night, but it was late. um, Jeff is not playing the small little clubs and small little theaters. He's playing big arenas, and I think if Jeff Lynne went out there, I think you got a whole lot of people that are just going to want to rush to see him, and that's going to be a crowd control issue. Paul McCartney doesn't do it either. You don't see the Rolling Stones going out and after their concert, hey, how about some autographs? I think that would cause a lot of problems. Also,
I'm just
Jeff,
surprised the Rolling Stones concert doesn't end before 7 p.m.
well, there's that too. My God, how close are they to getting to 80? They're getting pretty close there, I think. Mid 70s, because my dad was born in
No,
45.
he's
So,
not with them anymore, but I'm quite sure Bill Wyman's almost there.
yeah, wow. Um, Another thing, and I'll defend Jeff on this, he seems pretty introverted. And as an introvert myself, I can see why he wouldn't want to do the meet and greet after. I mean, he's just given his all to 50,000 people. And as an introvert, I think after pouring all that out, he just wants to go into a room by himself or maybe with the wife, if he's got a wife, or whoever he's deeply romantically involved with, and just be alone and re-energize. Because even after these podcasts, after I'm done talking with Eric, and I like Eric, he's a nice guy for the most part. Even I, after giving it all for you guys, when stop recording and shut down the Zoom, I just kind of sit back and just lay in the silence in my loneliness for a bit to just build up the energy to go on afterwards. So I can see why Jeff wouldn't be, after performing for 50,000 people, to go out in the lobby and say, hey, 50,000 people, siphon off more of my introverted energy that I barely have any left, and I'll sign some autographs. I mean, I'd love to meet Jeff, but, big stadiums, I see that being a big issue with all those big people.
Yeah. And just to answer your question, about 2 years away from 80 for both Keith Richards and Mick Jagger. Bill Wyman's already 84.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I didn't know any of them cleared.
Yeah, there's a reason he retired. He retired a while back. Because I think he said that I think he figured I'm not going to be doing this at 84. So yeah, he hasn't been with him, I think, since the early 90s.
Oh, okay.
90, somewhere around there. But
I didn't know any of them were
know
left.
Mick and Keith were born in 43, so they got about 2.5 years maybe.
I didn't think anybody had cleared 80 in the Rolling Stones. Wow. Well,
nobody thought any of them were going to clear 25, I think.
That's
at one point. So
that's the thing that blows my mind more. Keith Richards is 78, or going to be 78. He should have been dead in his early 20s. Why is he still alive? I'm so worried about what I eat.
I
I
think
got
he fed off of Brian Jones at one point. That's what really happened. Brian Jones is Keith Richards ambushed him in the middle of the night, sucked out his life force, threw him in the pool.
I guess I'm 51 and I'm worried about what I eat with cholesterol and diabetes and there I have uncles who had heart attacks in their 50s. Of course, they also smoked for 30 years. I've never smoked, so hopefully I got that working for me. But Keith Richards has lived off a steady diet of cigarettes, alcohol, and drugs. I'd be surprised if he's ever eaten any food. And he's 78, and he's not dead yet. He shouldn't have
Well, I
even made
think
his
he
pass.
likes coconuts because he fell off a tree trying to get one.
Yeah, maybe that's the secret.
And he lived.
Maybe that's the secret. Just do the cocaine and the drugs and drinking and you smoke every single day for 60 years. But as long as you eat coconuts, you'll look
Yeah,
like hell, but you'll still be alive. So, all right, maybe that's it.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, by the way, on another offshoot here, the orchestra released an album called No Rewind.
I still have to check out the orchestra. I haven't heard them yet.
So that's actually supposed to be a good album. So I'm thinking that after we get done with Zoom, because I think that was released the same year as Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
or just the year after, that we probably have to do something on that, like we did with ELO 2,
Right.
because the album that came out still had Kelly on it. Did not have Bev, but still had Kelly, Mick, and Lewis Clark.
Mhm. Well, like I said last week, and this thought has been running through my head, and it's been leaning more towards, yeah, sure, why not? When we finish with the Electric Light Orchestra catalog, I think every once in a while we'll do special episodes about orchestra and Kelly's solo album, and I'm still curious about Violinsky. What did that sound like? So I think
Probably a
we'll,
violin.
yeah, and Jeff Lynne's solo stuff. So I think, yeah, after we're done with the ELO series, every once in a while we'll do some special episodes about those ELO offshoot bands. So orchestra is not off the list of happening.
Good.
Yeah.
Because since now I'm because I didn't even know it existed. Now I'm actually curious about hearing it.
Yeah.
Okay, now Nicholas Adlier says, "Kiss Me Red always reminds me of a baboon's backside." Well, the song kind of sounds like one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't even. I guess that was one of those ones where you pick up the songwriter one. I guess Cheap Trick did a version before they
I
did. So it's one of those ones. Billy Steinberg and somebody else wrote it. It's not even members of the band. It's just one of those ones you pick up and you pick up off the songwriter market and do it. Kind of like all those Diane Warren songs.
yeah. Or that theme to Enterprise. That was pretty terrible. I think that had been floating around for a while before the show. Um all right, comments for Baby Got Back? What was it? Baby I Apologize.
Baby Got Back. The Sir Mix-a-Lot song by song podcast.
Oh, it's really snowing outside. Cool. Anyways, MJ wrote, a wonderful music hall type ditty. Perhaps a nod to something Jeff had in mind for the idol race. Yeah, I can see that. In the UK, we had a program in the 70s called Sale of the Century. But we had the same thing here in America, although I never saw the show. It was a game show. Very much a take on 50s American game shows. And yes, using the same cinema type organ as featured here. Never going to be on an ELO album, but glad it survived and we all got to hear it in the end. Indeed, no apologies necessary, and gratitude from me.
And Aaron Jansen says, let's venture into an ELO gray area. I believe ELO 2's working name was The Lost Planet. I know Roy Wood leaves during the recording of the album. I think we're talking about the album Electric
Yes,
Light
the
Orchestra
second
2.
album. Yes.
Second album. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say The Lost Planet would have been a better name for the band than Electric Light Orchestra 2, and probably people would have paid attention.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're talking about the album here,
Yes.
because I know we've been discussing ELO 2 forever.
ELO Part 2. This is
Part 2, forever.
ELO 2, the
I
second
know
one.
Roy Wood leaves during the recording of the album. The early 2000s reissue of ELO 2 / Lost Planet features Carl Wayne on lead vocals. He sings 2 unreleased songs and the lead on Mama. I wish there was some backstory on all of this. Was Carl going to join ELO, and was it before or after Roy left the group? I know Don Arden had also previously managed the move. Huh. I don't know. There's hardly anything on this, and everything I've found is mostly speculation. Anyways, the outstanding track from that reissue was Your World. Not sure if Jeff wrote it or not, but Carl sang it. I wonder if Baby I Apologize was going to be another song for Carl, but he left the recording sessions before they got to it. Who knows? Jeff said he had written the song for someone, but couldn't remember who. Can anyone shed a little light on this Carl Wayne and ELO mystery?
I
Not
can't.
I.
I can't, but we'll be getting to those Carl Wayne songs at some point because they were released under Electric Light Orchestra, even as as extra tracks on the Electric Light Orchestra 2 album re-release. And when we get to those, because I'm kind of curious, I didn't know Carl Wayne was singing. I just looked through the titles and what songs came out when and put them in order so I know what we can get to. Um, so I've never heard them. I'm curious to hear what they sound like. I just thought it was Jeff tracks that weren't done. So when we get to those, hopefully I'll be able to find out more about the Carl Wayne situation because I didn't know anything about Carl Wayne in ELO. Maybe Dr. Pam Van Allen can help because she says she knows all about ELO and the backstories and the hidden stories and all that. So if she can help us out with that'd be great because I'd like to know.
So would I tell you
Yeah,
the truth
yeah,
because it's yeah, because that basically would have just largely been the move back together again.
yeah, yeah. It would have. Oh, and yes, Roy Wood did leave um, during the recording of the album. He's on. If you go back and listen to our episodes that we covered for the songs from Electric Light Orchestra 2, he was on the ones that he was on the boogie songs, I believe. He was definitely on In Old England Town. That definitely sounds like Roy was there. And From the Sun to the Earth, World, I think. So but go listen to those episodes. And I believe you have. You're a long time listener. And we explain it there which ones Roy was on. Um, Rob Eben, he posted a comment, and this is a message out to the people who are in charge of these kind of things and who may be saying, should we stop these guys from doing this? Because Rob Eben said, having binge listened to the Face the Music podcast a couple weeks ago, I found myself rejuvenated as an ELO fan. I ordered the Out of the Blue picture disc last week, even though I didn't have a record player to play it on. So I ordered a record player, and luckily both arrived the same day. So,
Hopefully, it was not a Crossley.
oh yeah. So there you go. If any ELO lawyers are getting their pants in a bunch because we're screaming fair use, we're he Rob is not the first person that we've got this message from that he's kind of like, ELO, yeah, I like them. I'm gonna go check them out again. And then they start buying ELO records, which if you're buying vinyl, that's kind of a hefty investment. You know, you buy the MP3s off iTunes, $8 for an album or whatever, but vinyl, even for a single album, that's I don't know. I've seen them for 15, $20 a pop for a single album. So
Yeah, what I would do, however, is because you're probably going to find something that you forgot about with picture discs is that they sound like crap.
they look cool though.
So I would go out and find yourself an original copy of Out of the Blue. Make sure the poster's in it, and
Cutouts
because
too.
they're not that expensive.
Yeah, used
Yeah, find
copies.
one, and find one that's pretty decent condition with the poster in it, and it's going to sound a lot better than that picture disc does.
And the cutouts. Mine came with the poster, but mine didn't come with the cutout. Apparently, you could build an ELO spaceship on a spire
Is
with
that in the UK version, or did the US version have that?
I don't know. My US copy didn't.
Yeah, mine just has a poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yes,
we're help
Pam, I have a copy of it.
so we're helping ELO stay alive. We're helping you sell more records. And we're helping record companies sell, or record player makers sell, record players.
Yeah.
So
I
if you
mean,
want to,
yeah, definitely buy the new stuff, but the old stuff, if you can find it on the original vinyl, probably
Mhm.
going to sound better because it's not copied from a digital remaster onto vinyl. If you want the digital remasters, go, CDs are still out there for sale, brand new. Go out and get them. They got bonus tracks.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
And I'm quite sure at this point, because of the way everything's worked out, Jeff Flynn gets their money.
Yes, yes.
So
So and maybe they should give us some money because we're helping them sell. We're giving them promotion. Record player makers, ELO. You know,
Yeah, let's go ahead and inform Jeff about this, saying that we do a podcast where we use his music and demand he give us cash.
I see no reason why that shouldn't work.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I'm an oaf, so
Hey, you might as well just show up with a lawyer that has a cat face.
no, it's okay. I got that part covered. There we go. Okay.
Oh my God, he passed his bar exam.
It's cat lawyer. He can solve everything. Okay.
He just knocks the case right off the shelf.
Mm-hmm. All right. And I think we've come full circle now, so I think a good time to end it.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Okay.